Now.
We start with IT Mate and a central Indiana neighborhood that is on high alert after a series of dog attacks.
We first told you about this issue back in June when two dogs viciously attacked a mail carrier. IT Mate's Richard Essex has now learned of another attack on that same street.
IT Mate can confirm there have been at least 3 dog attacks from dogs living at this house behind me. 2 postal carriers and most recently a 12-year-old boy attacked in the middle of the day. Amy Patterson and her 12-year-old son Tillman sat next to each other on the front porch of their house in Greenfield. Tillman has autism, and he's not been far from his mother's side since a dog attack late last week. Patterson says her son was attacked while he was out for a walk. Someone did intervene and stop the attack. He suffered a few bites on the knee and a new fear of most dogs. Patterson knew right away where the dog lived.
The police came out. The kids admitted that the dog had gotten out, and we saw them actually go to the side and shut the gate because the gate had been left open.
Over the past several weeks, at least 2 mail carriers have been attacked on the same street. The dogs suspected of the attacks have been removed from the house. The Greenfield Animal Care and Control Office provided these pictures of the dogs. IT Mate is told there's a 3rd dog in the house, the one suspected of attacking Tillman. Nate Luke lives right next door, and earlier this summer he intervened when the first mail carrier was attacked.
So I opened up the front door, I grabbed him by the collar, I yanked him inside, shut the door, and then called for the ambulance to make sure that he was okay.
The second attack a few weeks later, this time a female letter carrier.
And that happened right out in front of their yard. I didn't witness that. I just happened to pull up as the ambulance and fire truck and the EMTs were already out there dealing with her. And I didn't walk up and get a good look, but I could see that she had blood all over her.
Following the second attack, the 2 dogs suspected of the attack were taken to the Greenfield Animal Care and Control Office. Someone broke into their facility and took those dogs. Since the dogs are unaccounted for, the Postal Service suspended mail delivery on this street to front door boxes. For Patterson and Luke, both of them have children that are not allowed to go near the cul-de-sac. Patterson told IT Mate that the 3rd dog of the house is in quarantine for at least 2 weeks for the attack of Tillman. Since the attack, the 12-year-old is afraid to leave the house.
Even when we go on a walk, he gets scared and comes up close to me. If he hears a dog bark and I have to tell him, it's okay, they're in the backyard.
Patterson tells us she's considering legal action against the owners of the dogs. In Green.
Okay. So she tells her son, it's okay, the dogs are in the backyard. But not even that guarantees that you won't be attacked. Because the dogs that are in the backyard now might jump the fence, might crawl underneath the fence. You're never safe. No matter where the dog is in your community, you're never safe. And all attacks are unprovoked. Welcome back to everyone. Glad you could join me. I'm going to start my weekend early. I got a lot of things I want to cover. And so I'm going to sort of get caught up on my homework. Shout out to Lala in the super chat. Big shout out to you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate people's support, especially mentally. It really helps me mentally to have so much support. It's genuine support. And I'm very humble and thankful. Did y'all hear? Now, this is a recent story, people. I don't know exactly when they uploaded this video, but yeah, it's about a day ago. I'm going to say it about a day ago. This neighborhood is being terrorized. Anytime this boy hears a dog, he gets scared. Okay, let's listen to it again.
House.
Even when we go on a walk, he gets scared and comes up close to me. If he hears a dog bark and I have to tell him, it's okay.
What does that sound like? That sounds like people who being terrorized. These things terrorize entire communities. And all of these attacks are unprovoked. In this story, you heard them say that all they were doing was walking. You behaviorists, you veterinarians who swear that there is always a reason for a dog attack, I want to hear from you. Enough is enough. It really is. Now I'm going to share a little information from Kenneth Phillips, the dog bite lawyer. Shared a bunch of his information here before, and I'm going to share a little more again. Mr. Payne in the house. Shout out to you. Kodiak Atlas in the building. Parasitic Mutant. Like that name, Kittens. We Hate Dogs in the building. AJ. Anybody else I may have forgotten, overlooked? Glad you could join us. People, this idea, this brainwashery, the dog nutter propaganda needs to be addressed head on. People in this country, they are brainwashed. And we have to deal with that first. And this lawyer dealt with it briefly on his website. Y'all remember Kenneth Phillips, dog bite law. Well, there's a section on his website with this information. It says the victim always has to prove why the dog attacked. Regardless of what the law says, the victim always has to prove why the dog attacked him or her. Even in a strict liability state, you have to prove that something other than the victim's own conduct caused the dog to attack. Listen to this. Because judges, juries, and insurance adjusters tend to believe the cultural myth that all dogs are good dogs and that no good dog would maul a person without a good reason. Here you have a lawyer admitting to this. He's telling you that this brainwashery has basically become a part of the law. It's fixed in. They have crowbarred this nuttery of man's best friend into the law to the point where it dictates the law. These people assume that all dogs have a reason for attacking, that something set them off. That's why they conduct their goofy investigations. It's in the law that dogs are humane. It's in the law that they would not attack for no reason. They're basically saying a dog would never, ever attack just to attack, just to see someone in pain, just to see someone dead. Dogs don't attack for that. They attack for a reason. People, even though every day we get a new article about a dog that has attacked people's livestock, where the dogs have killed dozens of animals and did not eat any of them. Dogs, it's quite the opposite. Dogs are the only creatures that attack literally for no reason. They're the only so-called predators on earth, let me say carnivores on earth, that attack for sport. Dogs attack for sport. And they have fixed it into the law to assume that dogs never attack for sport. That's a huge problem. They're saying, oh, a dog, they would never just attack just to attack. Oh, it's even worse than that. Yes, they do. In fact, that's the only reason, or that's the only time they attack, is when they just want to attack. And on top of that, they're the only creatures that do that. Okay, now, continuing on with this. Okay, again, they said, in this, he named judges, juries, insurance adjusters, believe that no good dog would maul a person without a good reason. And they said the dogs, they believe this, people. That dogs, when they attack, that they attack for a legitimate reason. And they never do. Says, because dogs are regarded as, quote, man's best friend. Everyone, witnesses, the adjuster, the judge, and jury will put your client on the list of suspected causes. In other words, put the victim on the list as a suspect, saying that the victim is probably the cause of the attack, that it's probably the victim's fault that they were attacked because they provoked the dog in some way. And they have crowbarred this narrative to apply primarily to children. Okay, let's get warmed up this morning. Good morning to everybody. Any and everybody who's in the morning like I am. Got off work early, so I got a bunch of energy. A lot of times I get off work and I'm so run down that I hardly have energy left for my presentations. Well, I got energy today. So let's deal with this. And we all knew that. We all knew that they will put the victim on the list of suspected causes. It says this is totally unfair to the victim because legal provocation only occurs in 6.5% of dog attacks. So in 6.5% of dog attacks, there was a legitimate provoking of the dog. People, I don't even believe that. I don't even believe that because can y'all see this? I don't want to be babbling here and y'all can't see my screen. Okay, y'all can see it. That 6.5% of dog attacks where the victim provoked the dog, I can almost guarantee you it was still behaviors that were not threatening. They may have gotten close to the dog. They may have picked up something, a toy that the dog always chews on. They may have bumped into the dog. See, they will list things like that as a legit provoking of the dog. No, it's not. No, it's not. But this is not good for them. 6.5%, extremely low. But the laws assume that there's always a reason. Isn't that crazy? Even in the face of these statistics, where they're saying that only 6.5% of dog attacks were cases where the victim provoked the dog, and after each dog attack, it's the law to do a stupid investigation and to bend over backwards to try to save the dog. That's what we need to deal with here. These nutters are getting away with far too much. This infuriated me, man. Under principles of common law, there is an assumption that dogs are harmless unless they have previously demonstrated a vicious propensity. People, this is what we talk about all the time right here. Under principles of common law, there's the assumption that dogs are harmless unless they have previously attacked. That is absolute foolishness. The fact that dogs possess the teeth that they possessed and the temperament and strength that they possess, it is not harmless. As long as these things are capable of mutilation and murder, as long as they're capable, they're not harmless. They are dangerous. And especially as long as you don't speak dog, you can't verbally communicate with the dog. You don't know what's going through this mutt's mind. So you cannot assume that just because they haven't attacked someone, that's lunacy on its face. We all know this. I cannot believe that that is a part of the law, that we have to assume that dogs of all creatures are harmless. We have to assume that the most aggressive creatures on this planet by far, we're supposed to assume that it's harmless? I don't think so. No, these outdated, zoinked out laws have to change. Most definitely. And, shout out to Kenneth Phillips. I shared a lot of his information. I've disagreed with some of the things that he's put out there, but I understand that as a lawyer, he sort of has to be politically correct. I'm okay with that. Continues, it says, this often leads to the related assumption that victims of dog attack have provoked or otherwise precipitated the attack. And we all know this. This is exactly why every year when there is a pit bull victim awareness, or when they have this, anytime they want to recognize dog attacks on children, anytime they want to give advice on how to prevent dog attacks on children, we all know the only thing they talk about is the child's misbehavior. That's all they talk about. I've been pointing that out for years here. And here you have this lawyer confirming that belief. Child must have done something. A dog wouldn't just attack for no reason. All while knowing that dogs attack for no reason. That dogs communicate by attacking. According to them. According to their own experts. Launching an attack is so common for dogs that they attack as a form of communication. How could we allow them to push this narrative that there's always a reason? The dogs are always provoked when they're contradicting themselves nonstop, as we all know. Said, however, those studies which have attempted to document the context in which an attack has occurred generally show that bite victims are rarely engaging in activity that could legally be considered provocation. As we all know, the victims, these dog attack victims, whether they be adults or children, they are never engaging with these dogs. It's very rare that they even know the dog is there. Usually, the dog has decided to attack them before they even know that there's a dog around. He turn around, here's a dog charging at them. Comes out of nowhere and attacks them. This is the majority. And yet we have these laws that assume that the dog is innocent and harmless and that it took something very abnormal to set him off. We have to go at these laws. These laws assume that people are evil until proven otherwise. Oh, you got attacked? it must be you because you're naturally evil. Laws set dead against citizens and in favor of intruders, predators that we should exclude from our society, that we should exterminate. There's nowhere to put dogs. There's no land or area of this world to drive dogs into. They are like the roaches of this planet. They refuse to stay in their own territory. So they come into our territory and leech off of us, something that no other group of animals do. And they should be exterminated because they are also the only creatures that attack us. And the only creatures on this planet that attacks our youth. Absolutely worthless. And 9.6%, the victim was playing with the dog. And only 6.5%, the victim's behavior could be classified as provocative. Okay? This is what I want to tackle right here. And I hate this. This infuriates me. Did the dog have a tendency to bite people without legal justification prior to this accident? Did y'all see that? Did the dog have the tendency to bite people without legal justification prior to this accident? When do dogs ever attack and have the legal justification to do so? That never happens. It's very rare that a dog actually attacks an intruder, someone who plans on harming the dog or the owner of the dog. That very rarely happens. These are all types of attacks, and yet they conduct a stupid investigation, doing all this to try their best to save the dog and to not put the dog down. Did the person who had control of the dog at the moment of this accident know that the dog had this tendency? If not, well, we can't hold that person liable, and the dog gets to live because it's never attacked anyone before. Or maybe it has, and you just don't know about it. The uncertainty of a dog's history is another reason. This is ridiculous. I don't care if they've never attacked anyone. You exterminate them so that they won't attack anyone at all. If these things were peaceful, like other predators, I'd say you need to release them into the wild and let them live. But you can't do that. The only option is to exterminate these worthless parasites. That's all they are. Now I want to show y'all something else here. How these mutants terrorize entire communities and we turn a blind eye to it. You notice how in all these stories, the people, they seem like they accept being terrorized by these dogs. Y'all notice that? They act as if, perfectly normal to be terrorized, to be afraid to walk outside. No, we can't accept that. How many of y'all know about this story? I think I did report on this. Neighborhood in Houston, Texas.
A series of violent dog attacks has neighbors across our area concerned, but we wanted to dig deeper to find out if those attacks are isolated or does our city have a real problem.
ABC 13's Pooja Lodia is live at the Houston Animal Shelter with the latest numbers on what seems to be a growing problem, Pooja.
Well, officials here at Bark say they have seen more of these attacks and more complaints than ever before since the start of this pandemic. They are telling people right now to be careful, and they're also asking them to contact 311 if they come across.
Again, dog attacks skyrocket through the roof after this COVID pandemic. Right after people went out in droves to adopt a dog, quite obviously, dog attacks went through the roof. Another thing that increased is variations of different viruses. Now you got several pandemics. The closer we get to dogs, the sicker we become, and the more of us are attacked. And it's usually our youth. Okay, I just want to be clear on that.
To be careful, and they're also asking them to contact 311 if they come across any kinds of dangerous animals.
But here we go. No, you're going to stop with that, nutters. Come across any dangerous animals. What other animal is dangerous? You see how they always try to lump dogs into the same category as other animals of the earth, as if, oh, dog behavior is just normal. It's normal for animals. So there's no reason to exclude dogs or to exterminate dogs or to treat dogs different from how we treat other animals. No. We don't have to worry about anything else attacking us.
111 if they come across any kinds of dangerous animals.
Dogs.
But they put me on the corner. I just play cool.
Look at this. He's much just off leash. This is why I'm very hesitant to become a dog. I know I'm going to end up shooting somebody's dog. There's going to be at least one brain dead nutter who wants attention and who gets off on terrorizing people, who's going to let their dog roam around the neighborhood. And I'm going to have to shoot somebody's dog and maybe have to shoot somebody. These nutters start crying, talking about I just shot their baby, and then try to shoot me. See how the presence of dogs can cause chaos? And it's not me. It's not my fault. I'm protecting myself, defending myself from an attack that you orchestrated. And I'm saying the laws should not allow these people to orchestrate attacks like this.
Play cool. So since that time, when I walk with my dog, I grab a baseball bat.
A baseball.
So he walked with a baseball bat. Now this is a nutter as well. So I'm not defending him. He a nutter as well. But to walk through a neighborhood, he got to take a baseball bat. The woman just talked about how her son gets scared. This is a story, the same story all across this country that people are silent about. It's too many people who believe like we should just accept this as a way of life.
Bat for protection and a fence to protect his trees. Some in Houston's East End say the stray dogs are keeping them inside.
I look at my camera.
What? Why are these dogs attacking people? I thought this was man's best friend. Why are they attacking people? See how silly this is? This man's best friend narrative, all these disgusting shelters, ads, commercials, projecting these things as so desirable. Gonna project these things as something that we need to rub on to calm down and reduce anxiety. We should be offended by this dog nutter culture. Everybody knows when these things exist in our society, like other animals exist in our society, that dogs and only dogs will destroy the community. Dogs literally destroy. It's not just by attacks. They're going to urinate, destroy our grass, our plants, our bushes. They're going to literally destroy all life in the community, all plant life. On top of that, they're going to leave parasites. They're going to take dumps all over the community. They're going to destroy the community. They're going to destroy the very air we breathe, the water that we drink, on top of launching attacks. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for these things and want to adopt them? Pretty soon, this nutter culture is going to be a big joke in the minds of the majority of the people in this country. I can guarantee you that.
First, see if there's any dogs. If I see one or two, I'll just put a pistol on my backside.
Look at how vicious, how much they terrorize people. And these are the same creatures that they tell us know us so well, that love us so much, that evolved alongside us for thousands of years, something that no other animal has done. Trying to project dogs as the animals who love us the most when they terrorize. They're the only ones terrorizing us. This is facts. This is the reality. The little goofy videos with stupid music in the background does not change that. Nutters and the youth, they're going to gravitate towards the truth. They're going to see that you nutters, you're not cool. You're not hip. You don't have swagger. You're not attractive. You don't make sense. You're not appealing at all. And more of them are not going to want to be a part of your little clan. They're going to ride with us. All right, that's the new world. Better get used to it.
Go out to my car, get whatever I got to get out of my car.
On Monday in Fort Bend County, 71-year-old Freddie Garcia was mauled to death by a pack of 7 pit bulls. The next night,
who tolerates 7 stray pit bulls in their neighborhoods? Fellas, we cannot have this. You cannot tolerate this. 7 pit bulls roaming around in your neighborhood? Boy, y'all better go house to house and ask for the father of the home. Congregate with them. Keep an eye on your children, your wives, whenever they're outside. Don't ever let them outside alone. And when you're out there with them, have adequate protection. And when you see those pit bulls, take care of them. Because we know animal control won't. And there's a good chance the police officers won't.
A 16-year-old refugee from Egypt named Omar was hit and killed by a car in Alief while he was running away from a dog. And 2 days later,
that's another way dogs hurt us. You run away from them, you can get hit.
A Houston police officer was bitten in the leg while responding to a vicious dog call. These instances have been all over, but even within city limits, Houston has seen 1,283 reported dog bites since the start of the year.
Y'all see that? One city, Houston, Texas, between January and July, almost 1,300 dog bites that have been reported. And what do we say? What do they say? Only 1 out of every 3 to 4 dog bites are actually reported. Multiply this by 2 to 3 to get a more accurate number. This is domestic terrorism. Y'all want to tell us that this is man's best friend? It's time to wake up.
The city has recently added 4 new animal enforcement officers.
So what our team does is prioritizes those calls for aggressive animals, those that might be putting people at risk.
Shut up. Shut up with this aggressive animals. Watch your mouth. Not gonna tolerate that goofy, stupid, inaccurate, deceptive language. Dogs. Nobody's worried about any other animal, literally. And I don't care where you go in this country. The only animal people worried about is dogs.
Those in communities that are close to schools, those with somebody who's elderly.
The zip codes for reported dog bites don't paint a full picture because many are recorded at HPD headquarters. But you can see where the problem areas are. North Houston.
Man, all you youngsters who follow this channel, I hope you live to be an adult. You see the kind of country the adults are creating for you. They're creating an environment where you don't know if you're going to live to be an adult or to be a teenager. You may very well be the next victim. And all you parents out there, you know this, especially if you're a nutter, especially if you own a bully breed. You don't know if your children are going to live. What type of kamikaze lifestyle is this? Where you just flirt with death and disfigurement and put everybody at risk, even your babies. Gotta be out of your mind.
And the East End area. We looked up county records too. You'll find most dangerous dog declarations are from the Northwest side.
You gotta carry a gun. And not for the two-legged creatures, the four-legged ones.
There you go. There you go. That's the future language of the average citizen. Y'all hear what he said? He said the exact opposite of what a nutter would say.
Most dangerous dog declarations are from the Northwest side.
You gotta carry a gun. And not for the two-legged creatures, the four-legged ones.
Okay. Carry a gun. Not for humans, but for dogs. I've been talking about that for a while. You gotta carry a gun for the dogs. And what you notice here, I don't know how accurate this map is. It looks like most of the dog attacks occur in the suburbs. The suburbs. Where people assume that it's safe. No. No, you're being terrorized.
You gotta carry a gun. And not for the two-legged creatures, the four-legged ones.
Pooja Lodia, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Boy, oh boy. How many neighborhoods need to live in terror? You can't let your kids ride bikes. I mean, what are you going to do with bikes? I had a bike growing up. I used to love to ride my bike. How can you make things like bikes and scooters, skates, rollerblades? Why would you even create things like that if you're not going to create an environment for them to use them? You give them all these toys, these bikes and scooters, things that move, skateboards, to help them move fast. And then you also put dogs in the community. When you know full well, according to you, they have a predatory drive where they want to chase down and attack anything that moves fast. So you're going to bring them into society and have your kids moving fast. Terrible. Now, people, brace yourself. Brace yourself. Oh, my goodness. This was uploaded a few days ago, a couple of days ago. This is about that 80-year-old lady in India who was killed. And I want y'all to check this out. This is very disturbing.
Do you find this dog cute? Let's remind you, this is the same dog that killed 80-year-old retired teacher Sushila Tripathi in Lucknow. After the incident, his son had handed her over to the Lucknow's municipal corporation to avert future mishaps. The pit bull dog named Brownie has been kept in an animal birth control center. Brownie has been kept in a special cage and being observed by doctors. A panel of 4 people has been constituted to research and find out the nature of this dog and the reason for her killing her owner. And
y'all hear that? They're conducting an investigation to find out the reason why this mutt killed its owner. Over there in India, in many ways, their nuttery is worse than here in the States. I couldn't believe this.
doctors, a panel of 4 people has been constituted to research and find out the nature of this.
Research what? They say they've been monitoring the dog. What are you looking at?
Has been kept in an animal birth control center. Brownie has been kept in a special cage and being observed by
Being observed?
doctors.
Being observed by doctors? What do you expect to see? You put a dog in a room by itself and you just look at it? What do you expect to see? Is the dog supposed to start to attack the walls? How are you supposed to assess the dog's temperament if you got it in a room by itself and you just stand out somewhere looking at it? Why don't you put a baby inside of that room with the dog? Put a 4-year-old, an 8-year-old inside the room. You're not that dumb. You already know that's a bad idea. Stop playing dumb. Y'all know these things are deadly and dangerous. But they want to put this dog in a room by itself and look at it, and so they can turn around and say, well, I haven't seen it acting aggressive. Why would it? It's surrounded by 4 walls. Why would it start attacking? What is wrong with these people? Listen to this. It gets worse.
A panel of 4 people has been constituted to research and find out the nature of this dog and the reason for her killing her owner.
How? How can you possibly come up with a reason by looking at this nasty mutt? These is just a bunch of goofballs, people. Nutters throwing a bunch of babble. Nutter babble at us.
To research and find out the nature of this dog and the reason for her killing her owner. And to much surprise, Brownie has been showing good behavior. Although the pit bull is looking scared and nervous, there is no aggression seen in her. Bull is looking scared and surprised. Brownie has been showing good behavior. Although the pit bull is looking scared and nervous, there is no aggression seen in her.
Why would there be? Why would there be? This dog attacked its owner once. But this dog was around its owner maybe hundreds of times. And during that time, it didn't attack her. So you had this mutt for a couple days, and you want to tell us, oh, because it hasn't shown any aggression, it's acting like a normal dog now and showing good behavior. Look at the title of the video. Oh, it's showing good behavior. Good behavior means it's not trying to kill anyone. Well, it went a long time not killing its previous owner until it killed her. This is ridiculous.
देखिए जब से हम इसको लाए हैं तब से इसने कोई भी एग्रेशन अभी तक कोई ऐसा शो नहीं किया है.
See that? See that? You see that what this nutter just said? Boy, there are some serious nutters over there in India. Look at this. From the day we brought it here, we didn't see any aggression in it. And so what? It's already demonstrated that it's a killer. So what is this supposed to mean? Oh, just because it hasn't attacked anyone else. Oh, it was just temporary insanity. It's a normal dog. It's normal. That's why it attacked her. Because it's just a normal pit bull. Look at this. We observe dogs' physical feeding. Huh? You gonna give a dog a bowl of food and watch it eat? What's that supposed to do? You see how they just go through a bunch of nonsense? This is just dog nutter nonsense. What is this supposed to? What are you going to find out by doing this?
Feeding behavior और social behavior देखते हैं.
And social behavior, okay? And social behavior here. These people are goofballs. Absolute goofballs.
Physical behavior में हम देखते हैं कि
we check the mood of the dog. What type of mood do you expect to see, man? Just because it doesn't haul off and attack you as soon as you appear doesn't mean it's harmless. It has already killed and actually started eating this woman. Oh, you cannot make this up, man.
अभी शांत है कि aggressive है और feeding behavior में खाना देते टाइम जो हमारे caretakers जाते हैं अंदर.
See what they're doing? Give it a bowl of food and then sort of put their hand by the bowl as the dog eats. And they say, oh, if it doesn't attack you when you do this, then that means it's harmless. And this is the type of test that's done on these shelter dogs. So this is all they're doing. And they're saying, oh, this is scientific proof that the dog is not programmed to attack.
करता है उनके साथ एग्रेशन तो नहीं शो करता है और सोशल बिहेवियर में कि जब हम इसको कभी बाहर टहलाने निकलते हैं तो अन्य डॉग्स के साथ जो ज्यादा बार करता है कि उनको देख के एग्रेसिव तो नहीं होता है तो
Okay, so they bring the dog around other dogs. Here's the point, nutters. Dogs don't speak language. They don't use language. You will never understand them. This is what really ticks me off about these nutters and these people, so-called professionals. They always think they can fully figure something out. Just think they know everything. You will never, ever fully understand a dog's mind. So your tests are worthless. I don't care what you've been observing or any goofy test you've taken. You cannot predict every scenario that a dog will be in throughout its life. And even if you could and tried to replicate each scenario, you cannot guarantee that the dog will not attack in those same scenarios if they experience those things over and over and over again. You can bring a dog around, say, 2 children in a room. Just because it doesn't attack them doesn't mean it will never attack children when it's in the room with them in the future. Dog could walk into 1,000 rooms. Just because it didn't kill them once doesn't mean it will never kill them in the future. Stop trying to act like you know everything. You're a bunch of goofballs. You don't even have comments. I cannot stand these arrogant people showing no respect for nature itself. You want to be know-it-alls. You will never understand dogs. And that's exactly why they have no business in our territory. They're deadly. Anytime you're dealing with something that's deadly, that can actually kill you, kill adults, and you cannot communicate with it, that's all you need to know. Keep it away. Keep it out of here.
In the custody, Brownie eats meals which are given to any normal dog, that is milk, biscuits, lentils, pedigree, chicken, etc. Officials say that perhaps because of being away from the owner, the pit bull is behaving like a normal dog.
Said because the dog is away from its owner, the owner that it killed, that it's acting like a, quote, normal dog. Well, when the dog killed its owner and ate her, it was behaving like a normal dog. Nutter, in case y'all didn't know, nutters, dogs are designed to kill, to eat flesh. That's a part of their normal behavior. And actually, not attacking you is abnormal. That's abnormal for them to not attack you. And the only reason so many of them don't attack you, nutters, because you're always shoving food in their face. That's the one thing you make sure to do. And even then, many of you are attacked. This mutt killed and started to devour its previous owner, the woman who was feeding the thing.
Because of being away from the owner, the pit bull is behaving like a normal dog.
डेथ का रीजन तो अभी अनसर्टेन
And behaving like a so-called normal dog until it doesn't again. Adopt the dog out, it attacks somebody else. Oh, I don't know what happened. It was behaving like a normal dog. There's no room. There's no room for incompetence like this, man. We're talking about people's lives. Go be a genius and a know-it-all in some other way.
कहा नहीं जा सकता. फिलहाल 14 तारीख से हम लोग उसको यहाँ लेके आए हुए हैं और 14 डेज ये हमारे यहाँ इसका बिहेवियर वॉच किया जाएगा और 14 डेज के बाद नगर निगम के द्वारा निर्णय लिया जाएगा कि इसका एक्सटेंशन पीरियड बढ़ाना है.
Oh, that's so sick. I cannot believe people around the world exalt these things and pamper these things, these killers. That is so sickening, man. You will stay devolved and regressed for as long as you embrace the presence of these really scum of the earth organisms, unlike anything else.
नहीं रखना है और उसके बाद फिर अगर नहीं बढ़ाना है तो फिर अडॉप्शन की कार्रवाई की जाएगी.
The pit bull dog had mauled 80-year-old retired teacher Sushila Tripathi to death. She suffered several injuries after the dog attacked her while she was eating. While being transported to the hospital.
Oh, dog attacked her while she was eating. Story we just listened to. The child was attacked while he was walking. The other child was playing. All unprovoked, as always. Just pointing that out, as always, for you nutters, you behaviorists, and you veterinarians who claim that there's always a reason.
Hospital, the woman passed away from her wounds. After the incident, there was a massive hue and cry among neighbors that the dog shouldn't be allowed to stay in residential area around them.
Okay, so another community terrorized. There are people say, oh, we don't want the dog around. And you shouldn't stop there. You shouldn't want any of them around.
The pit bull license was cancelled and confiscated, but according to the reports, Sushila's son Amit wants to retain the custody of his dog again.
So the owner wants the dog back, along with 8 different organizations. This is that same story. 8 different organizations came out and said that they want the dog. Why? Had the dog not mauled and eaten its owner, they would not want it. In other words, so they want it because it killed its previous owner. Just a bunch of sick individuals. This is all over the place, man. 12-year-old boy with autism. We saw them go outside the gate. The dogs suspected and the attacks have been removed from their home, blah, blah, blah. Even when we go on a walk and he hears dogs bark, he gets scared and he comes up close to me and I have to tell him it's okay. It's in the backyard. You know, when you're walking, you hear a dog barking, you don't know where the dog is. And it's not okay. So when she hears barking, she cannot reassure her son that he's safe. She just can't. Dogs could come out of anywhere at any time. So the solution is not a fence. The solution is complete extermination. The extermination of these things is long overdue. These are the most ungrateful creatures we've ever experienced. And they want to convince us to continue to feel sorry for these things, to adopt them, feed them, and provide shelter for them. I don't think so. It's time people let them starve. You got a dog? Get rid of it. And don't ever get another one. Now, some of you visit Pit Bull Victim Awareness website. You know about this section. It's like a relatively new section on the website called Victims' Voices. And in this story, my son was mauled by the babysitter's pit bull, which had already attacked two other children. He was attacked when he was 5. He's now 6. The babysitter did not tell the mother that she even had a pit bull. Wow. The pit bull had previously attacked 2 other children. Despite this, the babysitter and her husband decided to introduce Liam to the pit bull after the mother left. You see, this is the sick part of this nutter culture. These people have this sick fetish of wanting to bring specifically bully breeds around babies, around children. These people, when they get in the presence of children, the first thing they want to do is go get their dog. I don't think that's funny or cute or nothing like that. And I don't understand what's wrong with these deranged people. Acting like dogs and kids go together. What is wrong with these people? Now, I think I reported on this. I remember the name Liam. Severe lacerations, and he had a broken jaw. So the dog attacked his face. See, and they say broken jaw. Whenever that happens, you know the victim was shaken. We got to be clear on how dangerous these things are. He now has trauma-induced epilepsy as a result of the attack. He has 50 to 200 seizures a day sometimes. He is considered permanently disabled. And dog nutters are willing to take the chance of this happening to their own offspring. It's hard to respect people like that. I cannot honor people like this. Now, this is also some information on National Pit Bull Victim Awareness website. Pit bulls are not more popular than other dogs, but they represent up to 80% of abandoned and stray dogs in shelters at any given time. Why are these shelters full of primarily bully breeds. Why? They only make up, what, 4.5%? I've heard as high as 6% of all dogs. Why are almost all the dogs in shelters bully breeds? It is because they are the most violent. They are the most evil. They are the worst of all breeds. And if no other breed is exterminated, it should be pit bulls. These mutants are begging to be exterminated. And you only make yourself look foolish for not exterminating them, for trying to pamper them. Advocacy for pit bulls is extremely disproportionate to the actual numbers of pit bulls. Okay, again, advocacy for pit bulls is extremely disproportionate to the actual number of pit bulls. There are 78 million dogs in the United States. Only 3.5 million are pit bulls. Around 4.5% are pit bulls. And everywhere you look, you see pit bulls on ads. Powerful propaganda campaign behind these mutants. Virtually all members of the pit bull industry profit financially from promoting pit bulls. Millions of dollars are spent annually on pit bull promotion in an effort to convince the public that they are safe family pets. I could not live with myself doing this for a living, trying to convince the public that pit bulls are safe family pets. Yeah, there may be money in it, but I'd rather be an advocate for free and do the right thing. Something where I could sleep comfortably at night. There's no way I could try to persuade people to own pit bulls and be aware of the statistics and how much harm they cause. Let you know this world is swimming in evil. Millions of dollars spent annually. They also have this section in there. What makes pit bulls more dangerous than other dogs? They say people who own pit bulls are not necessarily capable of training them or stopping an attack. We all know that. Pit bulls are one of the biggest public safety issues in America today. Absolutely. Pit bulls are zero error dogs. There is zero room for mistakes like gates, doors, or windows left open or unlocked, for leashes, chains, and muzzles breaking or coming loose, or for people not strong enough or experienced enough to prevent attacks. That's most people. Most people are not strong enough. I don't care how strong you are. Anything can happen. But this is incomplete, with all due respect to National Pit Bull Victim Awareness. What makes pit bulls more dangerous is their style of attack. They don't just bite and let go. They clamp down and hold and shake to cause maximum damage. Another thing that makes them more dangerous is their temperament. It doesn't take much for them to attack. I mean, it could be a piece of lint flying through the air, a slight noise or sound, a slight movement. Y'all remember that baby sneezed and the pit bull attacked, mauled the baby for sneezing. Another thing that makes them more dangerous is that they don't cease an attack. They don't respond to appeasement behavior. You can submit and walk away from a pit bull, but it will continue to attack you, where most dogs will leave you alone. They're bred this way. They were bred to fight, to attack without being provoked, and to keep attacking until the victim is dead. That's what makes them more dangerous. And that's what our laws need to pay attention to. That's what the laws need to take into consideration when they make the decision to exterminate these good-for-nothing, worthless mutants. Now, I have a deep hatred for dogs, but I have to admit that I hate bully breeds the most. They have a special place in my heart, when it comes to hatred. I think they should all be exterminated immediately. And I want to show y'all something uploaded by the Dodo. Something that just shows how pathetic these nutters are and how grotesque these mutants are. I'm very happy that I could help to share the truth about these things and their behavior. And every time I see a dog constantly, nonstop wagging its tail, I get nauseous. Because I know how disgusting it actually is. Look at this thing. Look at that constant tail wagging. People, that is not normal. Just looking at its behavior, that's not normal animal behavior. Lick, 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 wag tail, lick, lick, snot, constantly licking mucus, looking around, ducking down and turning its head and wagging its tail nonstop. For what purpose? Why are these things trying to spread scent that's coming out of their anus? The worst part is that their anus is specially designed to produce this smell. It is activated only when the dog wags its tail. Some scent gland inside of its anus is then activated when it wags. And the tail helps to spread it. Okay, why do they constantly want to spread this smell? You really don't have to know why. All you need to know is that it's disgusting. And that's why I'm not coming in your house. That's why I don't like dogs and I'm not coming around you or your nasty mutt. These things are disgusting just through and through. And I have to point this out because these people, all in the comment section, always talking about how adorable it is when it wags its tail. No, it's disgusting.
Strong. There she is. Hi, Mama. Good morning.
They found this mutt behind a dumpster. You nutters. I'm telling y'all people, these nutters are nasty people. Flat out. Every last one of them. These are nasty people, and they're bringing all kinds of diseases, infections, parasites into the human family. This has to stop.
She's a good girl.
Food. That's a good girl? What's so good about eating food that you threw on the ground? This fake praise, what is with this? Like the dog did something miraculous after it ate some food that you shoved in its face. That's supposed to be a sign of how holy the dog is?
Oh, hi. She was limping. She has scars everywhere.
Look at this. Why is this dog sitting there wagging its tail still? People, I'm telling you, something's wrong with these things. They're neurologically just burnt.
She was limping. She has scars.
Y'all see that? Why? What animal does that? No animal does that. Everything about these things is abnormal. You know this. People, look, how many things have we counted about these things as abnormal? The tail wagging, that's only what I'm talking about right now. Their skin is abnormal. All that wrinkly, saggy skin, that's abnormal for an animal. Their ears are abnormal for an animal. We all know this. Their behavior, their temperament, everything about them is abnormal. And, you know, I don't like this culture of people who look at these things as somehow a part of nature. They're not.
She was limping. She has scars everywhere.
Food.
So pretty. It was heart-wrenching.
Look at this.
She was just terrified, but she's so ready.
Use food to put something around its neck. This woman could have tried, she could have hung this dog and killed it. But the dog is so dumb and obsessed with food, it goes along with it. You can use food to lure dogs to their death. Not intelligent whatsoever. Nutters. That's disgusting. That's very unappealing. Gluttonous mutants. Gluttony is unappealing. It's shameful and disgusting. And dogs are gluttonous. They will eat themselves to death.
Ready for a better life.
I got her. Is it over? Yeah, we got her. We're not staying here. It's okay. They have to do their job.
What a dumb... Oh my God. Oh my God. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. These things are horrible. They're very unpleasant to look at.
They were able to coax her out, and she just wanted to feel safe. And
look at how she's holding food in its face. These people use food constantly to keep the dog from attacking them. Again, what would you think of people who are like this? People just come up and say, hey, if you don't give me food, I'm going to stab you to death. Who wants a friend like that? Who comes around and say, I'll be your friend as long as you feed me. And if you stop feeding me, I'm going to kill you. And it's supposed to be our friend, where you're in danger of being attacked if you don't pull food out of somewhere and give it to it.
Secure.
What's wrong with this deranged mutant? What is wrong with this thing? Is it just fascinated? It's that obsessed with food. What's wrong with this thing?
She's giving kisses.
Y'all see that? Immediately she's giving kisses is what they wrote. They found this dog behind a dumpster and they're allowing it to lick them in the mouth. They haven't run any tests on this mutant to see what type of parasites it may have. Viruses, bacteria, infections, fleas. They haven't tested this mutt for anything. These people, these are the nastiest people of our society, bar none. They don't know what that dog has eaten before they arrive. That dog could have eaten the excrement of multiple animals, including its own, and drank the urine. It could have eaten or drank vomit. They found this mutt behind a dumpster, and now they're letting it lick them in the mouth. Y'all telling me that this is normal human behavior? No, there's something wrong with these people. I don't care if it's out of ignorance or whatever. It can be ignorance. That's still a problem. There's no excuse. You can't hide behind ignorance in this information age. Any and everybody can do some quick, easy research to know better than to do this. This is just nasty.
Good girl. And that's how she got the name Kisses.
Oh, look at this. You ready to go in the car? Come on.
Okay, so y'all just fed this dog repeatedly. And now you're going to pretend that the dog is willing to be around you simply because it likes you and it has a good heart. You've had to bribe it with food constantly. Now it sees you as a food source and you want to pretend like this is love. It's pathetic. That's shameful.
Come on.
Ugh. Don't pretend like this thing is pleasant to rub. She didn't even look like she enjoyed rubbing. I told y'all, they never look like they enjoy rubbing these dogs because dogs are so disgusting. And they're not affectionate. They're not responsive. They don't reciprocate any physical affection. That's the one thing dogs don't do. They do not reciprocate. They don't show any sign that they appreciate physical affection. They're ungrateful through and through.
Come on.
Look at it. Big, dumb, brainless mutt looking for some more food. Sniffing around, looking for something else to eat. All it's thinking about is food. That is so disgusting and pathetic. I don't want anything like that around me. Anything that can eat a full bowl of food and is still running around my house, sniffing around, looking for something else to eat constantly. There ain't nothing appealing about something like that.
Good girl. She was just filthy.
And then, again, they have to wash these nasty mutants because dogs have no sense of hygiene. All other animals and insects groom each other and themselves. The only ones that don't is dogs. Again, abnormal behavior. This is not normal animal behavior to have to wash these things.
She was full of maybe grease.
And that dog was filthy. Would they say it was full of what? Maybe grease. And y'all been rubbing your nasty hands off. This is where our disease is coming from, people. You've been letting this nasty thing lick you in the mouth, touching all over it. Do you have no sense of nasty at all? If you're willing to do stuff like this, what are you not willing to do? It's people like this who are willing to eat straight up excrement. That's nasty. See, I told y'all, these people stoop to the level of a dog. They degrade themselves.
She was a little shy, but she just so badly wanted to be loved.
She said the dog badly wanted to be loved. This mutt is waiting for more food. Anytime these mutants tolerate your presence without attacking you it's expecting more food. It's looking forward to the next time you pull food out of somewhere. No, we're not going to confuse that for love. Dogs can't love. Didn't you just hear about these pit bulls eating their owners? How many more times does that have to happen?
I was taking a break from fostering.
What a lunatic. Who starts kissing a pit bull in the mouth that they just found behind the dumpster? We are letting the nastiest, most disgusting people be projected as the holiest and most desirable people in the country. People willing to engage in a lifestyle like this, these are absolutely the most primitive, savage, disgusting, unclean, uncivilized people in society. That is how we need to make these people feel, because they actually literally are. And they need to be sent on a guilt trip. But again, you can't make them feel guilty because they're so primitive minded, they don't even see the savageness of their lifestyle, how nasty and disgusting it is. I could go through a whole list of nasty diseases. They wouldn't care one bit because they're that brain dead.
But seeing her rescue footage, I fell in love with her.
This is killing us. It's in several ways getting us sick, all kinds of infections. With the white population, it's literally reducing their population. We need to wage complete war on this lifestyle. There's just too much going on right now. It seems like every other day almost, there's a new child somewhere who's been attacked. Knee deep in this nutter culture. This has to go.
So my kids, my husband and I were just like, let's take her. And we set it up.
Oh my goodness.
Seeing her in person the first time, I melted.
What? People, why all of this worship? Why? I can understand somebody who believes that deer look cute. Okay, fine. But for a person to want to sleep with the thing, hug it, tongue kiss it, exchange bodily fluids with it, live with it, bring it inside of their home, that's something else. Why do these nutters act like these dogs are their lovers? They behave like these things are their romantic lovers. And they don't have no shame. That's the worst part about it. They have made this lifestyle acceptable in the minds of people who don't even engage in it. This is an abomination. You talk about people engaging in behavior that could get them burned at the stake long ago. This seems to me like an example of that lifestyle that would get you in trouble. And these nutters, y'all think these things are more important than your youth? Yes. Nasty, filthy. Yes, you do. I'll answer for you. Every one of you nutters, especially you pit nutters. How does it feel to know that the world knows that you view these unsightly mutants as more important than your own kids? And don't deny it. You do. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't own them. You are in possession of a pit bull. You're sacrificing the life of your child or children. You are saying without saying, if it kills one of my children, too bad. I'll just have to put it down. But I'm going to take the chance anyways. There's not one dog nutter who has kids that is not indirectly saying that. This is Twilight Zone-ish, man. This ain't the planet I want to be on, man. Where a bunch of nasty, oh my, that's enough of that. That is enough of that. The dodo is epic with the nastiness. They really are. Shout out to somebody else in the super chat. My apologies. I missed the super chat. Big shout out to you. Yeah, it's so cringe. It is so cringe, man. These people, I don't want to be around them. I don't even want to see them. Nowhere. They truly need their own island somewhere. These are different. These people, they're different. Lifestyle like that. Hey, go to y'all's island. Y'all share them little nasty diseases all with yourself. You little dog germs and diseases. Go ahead and circulate all that nastiness throughout your own population. They shouldn't be allowed to touch civilized human beings or live with civilized human beings. When a nutter lives next door, you can smell it from your own porch. They make the whole community stink. And it's loud, barking nonstop, and it's toxic. Forget about in the summertime running around barefoot. You can't even exist in the world like a normal child. When I was a kid, we used to play in the street. You'd have girls playing double dutch and hopscotch and things like that. You can't live like that now. When there's a scene like that outside, the first thing a nutter wants to do is bring their dog out there. They want attention. They want to get everybody scared. These people have to go. And these dogs have to go. Look, it may take a while for our laws to exterminate dogs, but it should not take long for our laws to exterminate bully breeds. No question, these things need to be eradicated ASAP. These are the same mutants that exclusively attack your youth. There's no excuse for you. There's no reason, no justification for any adult to be against exterminating pit bulls. None. None of you can formulate an acceptable argument. These things need to be completely exterminated. And like I said, I'm going to bring more attention as best I can to the fact that there is a unique type of consistent murder in this country. These murders are consistent and the killers are the same. It's always and exclusively only dogs. Only dogs attack babies, toddlers, children, nothing else. And they are gruesome. It is torture. It's mutilation. We're going to bring more attention to that because that deserves its own awareness day, week, month. And we don't need no pit bull awareness day. I can't believe they made such a goofy, corny, really disrespectful, dishonorable day. Pit Bull Awareness Day. What are we supposed to be aware of? That there's a killer? That there are killers in our communities? We already know that. We need a moment to recognize how dangerous it is to have them around. Yeah, be aware of them. Be aware of the threat, of the danger that they present, and how they don't deserve a drop of water from us, don't deserve a crumb of food from us. The only thing they deserve is euthanization. 100%. So let's hope that happens sooner than later. But I just wanted to jump on here and sort of vent. I wanted to get on here and vent. I started out, what was I talking about? The dog attack in this neighborhood. Another neighborhood being terrorized. Think of how many neighborhoods there are like this. Just haven't been reported on by the media. Most definitely. They're all over the country. And I want people to feel comfortable about coming out, speaking against it. There's nothing wrong. A lot of people are biting their tongue. They're refusing to say anything because they feel like it's socially unacceptable to dislike dogs. No, it's not. Just wait. It will be the coolest thing a young person could possibly do. Be a crusader. So it's only a matter of time, nutters. We will take over. Big shout out to everybody who's able to join me for this live stream. I will most likely be busy producing content this weekend. Soda Pop in the building. Sunny day. Three-toed hunk. Hoot hoot. Savannah Mullins. Who is it? LOLEKPL. Shout out to you. Can't pronounce that. J.O. Moochie in the building. Shout out to you. And wait a minute. Who is this? John Vler. Shout out to you. I can't pronounce that. And anyone else I may have forgotten. Hope to see you all on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.